Hey guys, welcome to Mad Scientist BBQ. I'm Jeremy Yoder, and today I'm going to show you how to cook the most underrated barbecue item there is. That is bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. I want to take a minute to thank today's sponsor, HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. They send you pre-measured ingredients to make meals fun and easy, and it makes them affordable too because you don't have to buy large quantities of things that you're not going to use. In addition to saving time and being delicious, the HelloFresh meals offer you flexibility. So if you can't get to the grocery store, guess what? You have these meals with pre-measured ingredients ready to go, and you can make something delicious for your family without a lot of hassle. My wife sometimes gets intimidated when she's trying out a new recipe and she has to go buy all the ingredients, and it's a big hassle, especially with a little baby to take care of. She loves that she can make restaurant quality meals at home, and for fun, we make them together. Everything that you need to know is on this convenient sheet, and everything that you need to use is in this bag. There are lots of options available, so if you want meat, there are meals with meat. If you're a vegetarian, you can order something vegetarian. It's never been easier to feed your family. Go to HelloFresh.com and use code MadScientistBBQ12 to get 12 free meals, including free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com. Use code MadScientistBBQ12 to get 12 free meals and free shipping. When I say that bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs are underrated, it's because it's not really a glamorous cut of meat. So if I make a video about brisket, people comment on it, they talk about it, they're planning their own next brisket cook. But chicken doesn't inspire the same kind of excitement. And that's probably because people have eaten a lot of dry, boring, gross chicken in their lives, and they don't get super excited about it. Now, there's no reason that the chicken you cook on your smoker can't be great. As a matter of fact, when I was doing barbecue pop-ups, people would come up after they'd gotten their food, and they would say, the brisket, like always, was great, but that chicken was amazing. And for me, that was disappointing because I worked really hard on the brisket, spent hours and hours and hours doing it. And the way I did the chicken was about the simplest way I could possibly think of doing it, but it just turned out to be the best. We're not going to do any trimming. We're not going to do anything weird to it at all. We're going to take the chicken out of the package, season it, and then put it on the smoker. And we're going to season with just salt and pepper, so a 50-50 mix by volume. Couldn't be any easier. The total cost of this chicken was only $11.25, so it's a lot of food for not a lot of money. But a couple important notes. Number one is make sure you season the skin side because that helps dehydrate the skin so that it's crispier in the end and it's not chewy and rubbery. The second thing is I wouldn't use a rub that has a lot of fine granules because for some reason it seems to diminish the smoke flavor. And the way we're doing the chicken today, smoke flavor is going to be king. So for ease of transport, I put all the chicken thighs into one pan. So we're going to take this pan out there and then put the thighs on the smoker. We're going to put these chicken thighs on at 225 degrees. It can drop maybe as low as 200. That's totally fine because right now I'm only concerned with adding smoke flavor. Because chicken cooks for such a short time, it's really important that you build in smoke flavor early and quickly. So what we're going to do is low temperature, build in all that smoke flavor, and then we're going to dial up the temperature and worry about crisping that skin. It's been about an hour at this point, so I checked the temperature on these pieces of chicken, and it's in the 150s for all these pieces. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the temperature of the smoke. I'm going to bring it up to 300 degrees instead of 225, because at this point, we've got good color on there, we've got good smoke flavor, so now what I want to do is crisp the skin. And the internal temperature of these pieces is in the 150s, but the temperature of the skin right now is in the high 180s, sometimes even in the 190s. So that means the fat under the skin is rendering properly. It's going to do two things. It's going to keep the skin from being rubbery, number one, and number two, it's going to make sure that the chicken is juicy because what you're going to taste as juice in your mouth is actually rendered fat. All right, I'm gonna add some logs to the fire and bump up this temperature to 300 degrees. Now the package says that these need to be cooked to an internal temperature of 185. So we're gonna go at 300 degrees until we reach 185. At that point, we're gonna glaze the chicken. So we have the smoke flavor as a layer underneath, and then we have the sweetness of sauce on top. So to mix up what we're going to use for the glaze, there are only 2 ingredients necessary. Number 1, barbecue sauce. I have a bunch of Sweet Baby Ray's, so that's what I'm using today. If you want to make your own sauce, then by all means do that. And then apple cider vinegar. So this is Bragg's apple cider vinegar. You can just get plain Jane, Heinz apple cider vinegar if you want. But we're going to mix those together because I want the consistency to be thinner than the thickness of regular barbecue sauce. And so I'm going to put barbecue sauce in this tray. You're going to find out why we're using the tray later. But I'm going to put barbecue sauce in the tray, add vinegar until it gets to be the right consistency, and we're going to show you how that works. So I add vinegar until this sauce mixture is runny. So it doesn't just gloop, 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 gloop. Because if you have a gloopy glaze, what'll happen is you don't get an even coat on the outside. So I want an even coat, so I want it to be runny enough. But don't add so much vinegar that it has the consistency of water. You still want some of the viscosity there. So from everything that I've read, dark meat for chicken should be safe to eat. Usually people say between 170 and 175, some places as low as 165. But I think on that package they're recommending to cook to 185 because it breaks down some of the connective tissues and stuff like that a little bit more to make it juicier and more tender. And these guys are ready to glaze. So they're done cooking. All we're gonna do is dunk them in that sauce, put them back on the smoker to set the glaze, so we don't need to increase the temperature anymore. And the reason I get them to a final temperature before I glaze them is because when I dunk them into that cold sauce, they're going to drop in temperature rather than continue to climb up. But one thing I want to test is this juicy? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to test the juiciness before I add the glaze, because that way that there's no extra moisture being added by any other source. So I'm going to pull a piece of this off, and we're going to see if it's juicy. So here we have this piece of chicken, and it looks juicy so far. But let's see how juicy it is. If that's not juicy and tender, I don't know what is. Okay? Gosh, this smells good. I might eat this right now. God. It smells incredible. Now this whole cook has been about making it easy. And this, in my experience, is the easiest way to glaze a whole bunch of chicken at once. At this point, we're going to leave the chicken on only long enough for that glaze to thicken up a little bit so it starts to get sticky. Looking at this chicken, I see the glaze on the outside. It's nice and shiny, which tells me that it's thickened up properly. And then I know that I've already added a nice layer of smoke flavor underneath that, so it should hit all the notes that we want in our chicken. Now, another thing that's important to consider is that A lot of people aren't huge fans of dark meat chicken, but what barbecue is about is taking something undesirable and turning it into something amazing. And that's what we did with this chicken out there on that smoker. Oh, perfect. Smoked chicken thighs really are the most underrated barbecue item out there. What I would encourage you to do is go get a pack. They're dirt cheap, usually less than $1 a pound, and try this out. You really don't have much to lose, and you have a lot to gain. I think you're really gonna impress people with the quality of smoke flavor that you get and the tenderness and juiciness of these pieces of chicken. So give this a shot. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. And if you liked the video, hit the like button down below, subscribe to the channel, and you can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Mad Scientist BBQ. I'll see you guys next time.